Happy holiday weeks are coming up. I'm Kendall Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We're going to go over the work week weather. Even if it's a shortened work week, we've got a couple tiny wintry mix possibilities for this week, but nothing with any serious travel disruptions, just some brief little potentials for some rain that could start with a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow, and we'll go into the very, very tiny accumulation potential for later this week. But yes, every other day, Tuesday, Thursday, maybe Saturday, we see rain that might want to start as a little bit of wintry mix. Hi, Tim Norris. Hi, JPad and Rox. Good to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. Anytime you need us, we're at WashingtonPost.com/weather. And we have very mild Christmas by comparison to the extremes that have been historically in the record for Washington, D.C. But Kenny, thanks for joining. And very good to see all of you. My PM update is there at the top. We're doing our new weather format at WashingtonPost.com/weather, so you can see the latest that we're talking about all day long without, giving you some quick hitting details at the top, but not giving you too much information to overwhelm you. So let us know how you like the new format. And then White Christmas, again, only a 4% probability any given year, climatologically speaking. So no surprise, this year will be in the 40s. Relatively mild, relatively average for this time of year. Good to see you, Kenny. Yep, I'm glad you you got a little bit of good weather there for yourself today. And Thirsty Pretzels and Donna Boy and JM, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate seeing you. All right, I am looking at the temperatures here this week, slowly easing up toward average. We've got 30s today, heading into 40s for Tuesday, Christmas Eve, and Wednesday, and slowly getting milder and milder, but we still have some cold morning temperatures, and that's why Tuesday morning, maybe Thursday morning, and even Saturday morning, we can't rule out a little bit of a wintry mix where rain wants to move throughout most of the Beltway area. It might start with a few pellets of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain, but it might be just ever so brief and not really a high impact event for any of your major travels. But we do want to watch with a slight, watchful eye on Tuesday morning for the morning commute. So otherwise, we've got pretty mild temperatures this week, and wind is also not a headline, so that is some great news. Precipitation, again, very light overall for the next 7 days, a quarter to a third of an inch, if we're lucky in some locations. So when we are looking at rain starting as a little bit of wintry mix, I want to emphasize it will be light and brief, and chances are slight, very slight this week, but worth noting so you're not surprised on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, just in the off chance that rain does start with a few flakes as well. And it's great news, any rain, we need it, maybe even more than what we're getting over the next 7 days because drought persists over the region, and cloudiness also is going to be fairly persistent Tuesday onward this week. So please get in that sunshine, the sunshine hours, what's left of, well, today was sunny. I hope you enjoyed that. And then Monday, tomorrow as well, looks to be a very bright day overall. So please enjoy the sun while we have it on these ever so short days. Julie, DC Post, Lena, thanks for tuning in. DFL, good to see you. And we've got Tess. I'm glad you're saying yay, Commanders. I love that. And good to see you, Doof Plow, and Julie as well. All right. What else do we have for you here? Want to make sure I am loading my comments for you properly on all of our social media channels here. It looks like we are started at least on Instagram, but I'm on Facebook. I should be on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram all together this evening. All right, very, very good. So let's see. We want to show you also that we have those ice potentials for kind of mainly north of the Beltway on Tuesday, and maybe a little bit of snow potential on Tuesday. This again will be very brief, very light. Just don't want you to be surprised on Christmas Eve if you do have some last minute plans, and maybe even the morning commute if you have to work on Tuesday morning. There could be just a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow, and the highest confidence for some slightly nuisance amounts and nothing too disruptive, but northern Maryland up near the Pennsylvania border has the best chance of seeing like a little bit of impact from this wintry precipitation on Tuesday. And if you're wondering what's the boom scenario, it's still very limited. A dusting, maybe in northern parts of DC and the Beltway for snow, and maybe a very, very tiny glaze of freezing rain as well. But temperatures are heading up pretty fast on Tuesday morning into midday. So anything we see will likely be on grassy surfaces more than roads. And we don't see anything like power outages or any other major disruptions from this brief, very slight chance for a wintry mix before turning to rain on Tuesday. And we could see a little bit of that on Thursday and Saturday as well. Let's see. I haven't. Rohini has a great question about gardening. For the last day to plant bulbs, I think it might be right around now based on temperatures and what my understanding is of ideal soil temperatures. But if I hear better from you, from other master gardeners in the area, I will let you know, Rohini. But the ground is with the coldest air of the season in the last 48 hours, and even tonight will be pretty darn chilly. I think it's overall a pretty good time to put in bulbs, is my understanding. They'll remain pretty dormant in the ground and be able to recharge for the spring. Ruth Elisa, Monday and Wednesday chills and the air and wind, like the air temperature and the wind chills are easing as we go forward. Nothing like we've seen this weekend, so that's some great news. I think most of us, the air temperature tomorrow are within a few degrees of 35. Breezes generally stay around 10 miles per hour, maybe one or two gusts near 15 miles per hour. 15, not 50, 1 5. And overall, I see minimal wind chills for the next couple days, even through Wednesday. So wind is not a headline this week. Ever so slightly warming temperatures is a positive headline if you're tired of the very wintry below average air that we've had. So we should see an easing of the cold, not only the air, but also the wind chills, Ruth Lisa. Jared, indeed, a very ever so slightly tiny chance we see some snowflakes, maybe even though some ice as well for the Tuesday morning time frame. So we'll keep you posted. This is the most possible, just to give you an idea. Even the ceiling is not much to speak of. This is a nuisance event if any sort of winter precipitation at all mixes in, with rain being the predominant precipitation type for a very light rain event on Tuesday. We may see similar brief spits of wintry mix on Thursday and maybe Saturday as well. Ruth Lisa, you're most welcome. And Eric, I think finally everything is booting up for comments here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram as well. I'll have to check on this. Please keep me posted. I will be happy to check with my IT team on this if there were any issues. So Eric, I appreciate seeing you. Bow Dragon, also seeing you on YouTube. I appreciate this. Maybe we took a minute to get everything booted up on all four of our social media channels. Anytime you need us, though, we're at WashingtonPost.com/weather. I'm Camden Walker. We're talking about Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, ever so slight, very brief wintry mix chances as rain gets going those days. Rain, again, being the predominant precipitation type we expect this week, but nothing is looking too heavy. I just want to show you over the next 7 days, we maybe get a quarter to a third of an inch of rain, liquid equivalent precipitation. So even if it is a wintry mix with some snow, sleet, freezing rain, look how brief it is, look how marginal the temperatures are, and nothing majorly disruptive during our holiday week here. So that is some good news. MBI and Kara, good to see you, and Romakin and Al Carney and Wave Siempra and Mandula and Jojo Shulm and Cato and Student and Amy Porter, good to see you as well, and Tim Norris. Conversational flakes are possible during the day on Tuesday, on Christmas Eve, before rain takes over for most, if not all, of the morning, Tim, into the midday hours. I think rain is the predominant precipitation type around town and points southward at least. Now, just to make sure I'm being clear, if you live up near northern Maryland, near the Pennsylvania border, that's where your greatest chance of seeing some wintry mix is for Tuesday morning. But around town and points south, rain is the predominant precipitation type. No accumulation is currently expected. But in the off chance, 10% chance, we do see maybe a very slight dusting of snow, a very tiny coating of ice around DC in the Beltway for Tuesday morning. But again, very low chances, roughly 10% chance for that. So the ceiling, the boom scenario, or worst case scenario, if you don't like ice and snow, is not much to even speak of. It's very much a nuisance event at worst. And looking ahead, we want to think about maybe starting the new year, temperatures leaning above average, and precipitation, good news there, leaning above average as well, because goodness knows we could use it since the drought does persist in our region. And we're only seeing maybe a quarter to a third of an inch of rain with these quick hitting wintry mix, mainly rain events for Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday as it stands now. But please stay tuned to WashingtonPost.com/weather. As we get closer, we just want to make sure these very tiny, small weather systems, these nuisance events that are mainly looking like rain Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, don't have more impact outside of a few hours here and there over the coming days. But overall, while it might seem like an active weather week with these small weather systems coming in every other day, I would argue it's a fairly benign week. No major travel disruptions are currently forecast. This is overall good news because again, we do need rain and any type of precipitation in the region. And just to warn you, it's going to be a cloudy week. Monday is still sunny. Please tomorrow get outside if you can and enjoy it while we have these very short days here near the winter solstice. I personally hate when clouds kind of ruin the limited daylight we already have. So clouds take over Tuesday onward this week. So please, hopefully you enjoy the sunshine today and enjoy the sunshine. Please try and do that tomorrow on Monday as well. And then again, we're talking about the ever so slight chance of ice and snow, wintry mix on Tuesday morning, mainly focused on counties northern Maryland toward the Pennsylvania border. But yes, a little bit of snow is possible in other parts of Maryland as well. So far, nothing expected around DC and the Beltway, but there's an ever so slight 10% chance we see a dusting, maybe mix in as a best case scenario for some brief, very light wintry mix on Tuesday morning as it turns to rain for most of the DC area. And looking at New Year's, toward the new year next week, temperatures are leaning above average and precipitation also leaning above average, which would be great news. We need every drop we can get. All right, here it is. I'm Cameron Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We have the PM updated forecast on the blog now for you at washingtonpost.com/weather, and the latest forecast here at a glance also on our blog. Christmas extremes, just for your fun entertainment information. We're looking like a mild 40s for the high temperatures on this Christmas. Overall, pretty benign weather expected on Wednesday. I don't think we'll see much, if any, precipitation during the daytime on Wednesday. It looks like it should just be cloudy. So any daytime travels you might have to and from friends and family should be fine on Wednesday. Sploralinda, Sean P, and Debbie, thanks for tuning in, and Liz Kramer. Appreciate seeing you, and Martha as well. Thanks for tuning in on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube as well. We've got Lori wanting more snow, and Paul. Let's see, you're going to Pennsylvania on Friday, and oh, that's great. Really good to see you and tuning in from Pennsylvania. Anastasia, hi, good to see you on X, and hello in Culpeper. Steve, thanks so much for tuning in. I love the idea of a fireplace tonight. That is much good weather appropriate weather for a for a fireplace to go. Happy holidays, David. Good to see you. Rohini, you happy holidays to you as well. Jared, maybe some better snow chances in January. Though you probably just saw that we were talking about as the new year starts, the kind of medium term outlook for temperatures are leaning above average and precipitation leaning above average. So if we maybe see some cold mornings or cold nights, maybe we can sneak in a few flakes in the coming week, but no major accumulating snow to be discussed. Nothing in the forecast as it stands now. So good to see you though, Jared, and Rohini as well, and Sebastian. Let's see. On Thursday, Sebastian, I think you want to dress not for super cold weather, but I'd say 40s and 50s for much of the rest of the week. Maybe we hit 50 degrees by the end of the week. I think it's possible, but overall, about average weather for this time of year. So dress for the season, some layers, but not maybe your heaviest coat and scarf needed by the middle and end of this week, for the later part of this week. All right. We've got Miller and Lil Sunshine and Hunter. Good to see you as well. And Ale and Chikatis. And oh no, your pipes froze in McLean. Oh, in 1983 on Christmas. It was very cold for that Christmas, Bamto. Thanks so much for tuning in on Instagram. I appreciate hearing that perspective from you. Monica wants some snow, even though we have little to none in the forecast, even though we're talking about a hint of a wintry mix, ever so slight chance for Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Nothing may accumulate around town and point south, especially. All right. Good to see you, Jim or Charge. Happy holidays to you. Appreciate your very kind words. Sim Wallen and Madeira and M. Turk. Good to see you as well. And Kramer Phillips and W.M. Jones as well. All right. Otherwise, probabilities are always very low in the DC area for a white Christmas. 4% is the best we have, climatologically speaking, in any given year for snow to be on the ground for Christmas Day. So no big surprise that we're looking at kind of average 40s without snow for Christmas this year as well. All right, let me take you through quickly the temperature slideshow, and I'll put the forecast and the forecast at a glance above here. So we're getting warmer this week. That's kind of good if you are not loving the fairly below average wintry weather we've had. These temperatures warm toward the 40s, maybe near 50 at the end of this week. So you'll see warmer colors gathering here. Here's Monday, which is still cold but sunny tomorrow. Tuesday's a little better. Wednesday, and the other good news is that wind is not a concern really this week, not a headline maker. So major wind chills are behind us, just a little bit of breeze every now and then for this week as well. So it should feel a little less severe in the cold department as we go forward through the work week, limited work week as it might be with the holiday. Precipitation, quick hitting, hit or miss, mainly rain. Tuesday, rain showers. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I just don't want you to be surprised if rain does start with a little bit of wintry mix like flakes, sleet, and even some brief freezing rain. It's ever so slightly possible. We'll look at accumulations in a moment, potentially for Tuesday. So just keep a slight eye, and no major plan changes are deserving for Tuesday morning. But I just want you to keep a slight eye so maybe you can adjust your plans a couple hours on Tuesday as well. But all precipitation types are welcome with the drought continuing in the region, and clouds are going to move in and stay camped out Tuesday onward this week. So please enjoy, hopefully, the sun you enjoyed today, past tense, and will enjoy the sun, future tense, for tomorrow on Monday. So I just want to warn you with our shortened days, I love every bit of sun that I can get, and clouds are going to be hanging around Tuesday onward this week with full force. And then let's talk about the slight wintry mix chance for Tuesday. Not a big deal around town, but we're gonna, watch things since it's kind of lower confidence around town and points south. Now, higher confidence for a slight impact for a little bit of Tuesday morning. That's up in northern Maryland, near the Pennsylvania border. We could see light snow amounts, slight ice amounts, but temperatures are increasing, as I showed you. Temperatures are increasing this week. So we really don't see long-term impacts, severe impacts at all from this wintry mix and maybe a little bit of ice on Tuesday, even in northern Maryland. But it's worth watching with us at WashingtonPost.com/weather as we go forward into tomorrow. We'll get a little better picture of this. And what's the worst case scenario, or best case if you like snowflakes? We could see maybe a little light dusting in northern parts of DC and around the Beltway for Tuesday morning as well. So it's a limited ceiling. That's a 10% chance at best for some snowflakes and maybe a little tiny glaze of ice ever so briefly on Tuesday morning. But confidence is very decent that temperatures are still going to get to near, maybe above 40 on Tuesday. So it would be very limited, low, short range, short lived impact if we see anything around the DC area on Tuesday. And then looking ahead, Climate Prediction Center temperatures are leaning above average for next week as we head toward the new year, and precipitation below average next week as we head toward the new year. So hopefully we can get some more precipitation in here. Sorry for my snow lovers letting it snow. I can't do that in this forecast right now just yet, but hopefully I'm keeping you posted on even the slightest wintry mix chances as we're talking about for Tuesday morning, even though we're not appeasing our winter weather lovers just yet. All right, I am on the air another minute and a half or so. Blotcher, hello. Hello, Jenig, Jagfaru, Johnny Grant, Cohen, Natalie, thanks for tuning in on Instagram. Let me make sure I have answered all your questions and comments on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram, all four of our social media channels. Very good to see all of you tonight, Jen and RP88. And Merry Christmas, BR Lake and Paul. Let's see, next weekend, you could have a little bit up there in Pennsylvania, but so far, no big signals just yet. And indeed, Gary, the days with just a few seconds are getting longer now that we are past the winter solstice. I love that. And Ruth Elisa, still too soon to talk specifics for New Year's Eve, but I will just point you toward kind of the general outlook is leaning above average for temperatures and leaning above average for precipitation as well. So we'll watch the details as we get closer to New Year's Eve next week as well. David, Merry Christmas to you, and I look forward to seeing all of you next Sunday for a weekly Sunday sunset chat then. Appreciate seeing Vegan there on X, wanting some snow with Santa emoji as well. I love that. Sebastian, you're most welcome. And let's see, Merry Christmas to you as well, Gary. Really good seeing all of you. Please have a really good holiday week. Just a slight, ever so slight wintry mix chances are possible Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Mainly rain is the name of the game. and precipitation, any and all types, are expected to be very light this week. So please keep that in mind. We're only expecting maybe a quarter, third of an inch of liquid equivalent precipitation over the next 7 days. So we will try and hone in on the details over the next couple of days before Tuesday morning's potential rain that starts as wintry mix, but we're not expecting much as it stands now. But we will, of course, keep you posted if these forecasts for ice and snow increase and maybe creep southward toward the Beltway and point south and east of town, but that looks unlikely as it stands now. So with that, I wish you a very good holiday week. Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, and I will see you next Sunday for a weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. Then I'm Camden Walker signing off from WashingtonPost.com/weather and the Capital Weather Gang. Be